on.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's
Hello.
going on? All right, everybody, refresh your screens just in case you're not seeing us. Can you hear us? Can you hear us now? How do we do this stuff? We're outside, off grid. Lighting's a little rough.
She brought the flies or something.
It's summertime. We jumped up.
It's warm.
All right, here we go. Why don't you introduce our guest?
Well, I want to introduce to you, if you don't know who this is, he is, I guess, you heard of a ninja. He is an elderberry ninja. This is Terry Durham from River Hills Harvest.
Go lay down. Go.
Hi, Terry.
Hello, how you doing, everybody?
He's got good feet or something.
Maggie just
all
loves
over
him.
laying
Yeah.
on him and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, it's probably that lotion. This lotion smells like feet.
So go on.
Yeah, this is he. I mean, he.
So I'm here. Anybody have any elderberry questions? I'm here to talk about that or adding value to anything that you produce on the farm.
Yeah, anything you want to know about elderberries.
So in case you guys are kind of new around here, since that was a lousy opening, Terry, we did a show with him, and he talks about elderberries, the largest producer of elderberry juice in North America, right?
Sure.
Okay. And we went to his place. We did a whole big thing about elderberries and how great they are for you and the very robust medicinal uses for it, right? So there's a lot of medicinal uses, and we did a whole video about it. And he stops by from time to time. We chat and hang out. We thought, since I'm all on the mend here, I'm gonna tell you about that in a second. We would talk about more of the medicinal uses of the elderberry, because he's just passing through and hanging out, and introduce you guys in case you didn't see the elderberry video. But now you can also ask questions if you've ever heard about elderberry, or if you wanted to ask questions about elderberry. We thought we'd hang out with you guys for a little bit tonight and talk about elderberries.
Making money, raising elderberries, all that good stuff. Anything you want to know.
Yeah, and don't worry, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, but we're just kind of get started here first. So we're having a great day, everything's good. We jumped up to the high temperatures really fast. It was really nice spring weather, and then the last 2 days have been in the 90s, but we're supposed to go back into a little better
spring tomorrow.
Yeah, a little better weather, a little more normal. But everybody's running around like crazy right now trying to get these gardens in and get their plantings in, and the tomatoes and the peppers are excited about it.
It's time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Totally.
All right, so here we go. If you have a question about elderberries, put them in all caps. I'll read them off, and then we'll try to get those questions answered for you, but you have to put them in all caps. Do you have to have more than one elderberry tree?
No, you don't have to have more than one elderberry tree if you're growing American elderberry. European elderberries, they need to have two. But it's just a common myth about elderberries that you need to, but you really don't. Any single variety of elderberry is going to produce for you. As long as it's an American elderberry.
Open pollinators?
Yep, they're open pollinated, and we have lots in the wild around everybody anyway too. But we only need one. That's one of the big myths about American elderberry that we get asked a lot.
And Debbie wants to know if elderberries would grow in Miami, Florida.
Yes, elderberries grow in Miami, Florida. There are some growing around there. I was just down there in the winter. They start blooming usually in about December down there, and they never even lose their leaves.
Yeah.
So some of our selections that we've been working with, the ranch variety seems to take the heat more and does really well down further south. We have a few new orchards going into Florida, so we know they'll grow there.
So basically, the elderberry is very versatile. It pretty much grows anywhere.
It'll
In
grow
the United States,
I mean, it's pretty hardy. So Pacific Northwest, Miami, Florida, the desert, if you can water it, I mean, they're pretty hardy plants. Somebody said that they got some elderberries and they planted the cuttings, and now the leaves are brown. Are they dead?
Sometimes if you plant them, they can go into a little bit of stress when you first put them out there, and those top leaves can die back. But the two buds underneath the soil are where the real power of the elderberry is going to be growing from. So just be patient a little bit, and if you got them from us, we always guarantee them. We'll replace them next year when we have more cuttings if they don't make it, but they oftentimes will come up from the bottom if they lose their top leaves like that. They just don't have enough energy to do the top growth and the bottom growth, and it will send shoots up from the bottom and then roots down from those same guys.
So can you grow elderberries in a pot on the patio?
You can grow elderberries in a large pot. They'll grow in a small pot, but they're not going to make any berries, and eventually it'll kind of stunt them. But if you put them in a nice big pot, like those, you know, the livestock mineral barrels they
Yeah, those
get,
big
those
flat
great
ones,
big
yeah.
ones, that size, then they can grow a pretty good elderberry in those.
So you need
And
some
they'll
good
produce.
roots.
Needs a big root.
Can't
It
be root
spreads
bound.
around, and it likes some other stuff growing in there with it too a little bit.
Think they'll grow in the southern Philippines?
The Philippines have a native sambucus that grows there. Um, I've never worked with it. I've read about it. They would probably grow there. I haven't got any experience. There are native ones there. Native people have been using the sambucus elderberry in the Philippines that grows there, though.
Yeah.
And someone was asking, how tall do they normally get? Does it depends on the variety?
Kind of depends on the variety and where they're growing in the country. The further south you grow, they seem to be taller because it's warmer and longer growing season. So they average between 6 and 10 feet. 6 in Canada, 10 in Florida.
And in case you guys are wondering, that Terry's company is called River Hills Harvest. You can go to riverhillsharvest.com, check out his elderberry. You know, they have all these juices, which is really good for you guys, especially with cold and flu season. You take this. We have friends that didn't get flu shots, took their elderberry all winter long, and never got a cold or flu. And Brian, if you're watching, you can confirm that in the comment section. He's really touting that stuff. He stayed on that. They also mix some other stuff, like this has honey in it.
Brand new product.
Brand new product.
Elderflower.
Cordial.
We were just drinking it with some sparkling water, and it's pretty good.
So
you
he makes
got to
a few.
Remember, Doug, that elderberry juice will help that inflammation.
We're gonna get
arm.
there. We're gonna get there. Don't. I gotta keep them hanging on towards to the end, or they all leave me once they find out what happened, and then we got nobody to talk to.
Oh gosh, it was quite an accident.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was way up. All right. Is it bitter or sweet? Your elderberry
We call
cordial?
it sweet neutral. It's not really bitter, but it's not really sweet. It's about the best elderberry juice you're going to take that doesn't have any added sweetener or anything else in it.
No. So they said when you plant elderberries, how long does it take before you get the berries?
Usually the second or third year, depending on where you're growing them. Now, if you're down further south around hot springs, I've seen them take one of those dormant cuttings and grow it into a 6-foot plant with berries in 1 year. But further north in Missouri, it usually takes 2 years, and in the third year they hit.
Yeah, because here I had them. My second year, I just had a few clusters, and then this year it looks like I'm going to get a whole lot more.
So it's good.
It's good. Let's see. Oh, somebody bought Natasha Yearwood. She's a total Homestead homie. She bought some of your jelly. She loves it.
My grandma's recipe on that jelly. It was one of the first things that I learned about elderberry. That and my dad teaching me how to make a pop gun. You know, elderberry's got that pith in the middle of it, and you cut it between two of the nodes or where the buds are, and you get a stick and you can make a little ramrod. You can push that pith right out.
Yeah.
And so we learned to just chew up a piece of paper and we'd put it in there and push one down with the rod and get it to the end and then get another one started, and you can shoot that out. It makes a big old pop.
I'm sure no one wanted to sit behind or in front of you in school, huh?
Well, you know, we usually only got to play with those in the country outside.
So they want to know if elderberries have to be pruned.
Elderberries do not have to be pruned. You know, we've done several pruning studies for production. Now in Europe, they're pruned like a fruit tree. They get rid of the old wood, the 3 or 4 year old stuff, because the European elderberries only produce fruit on 1 year old canes. So the American elderberry, the canadensis, it will produce on the prima canes, the 1 year old canes when they first come out. And so we prune ours to the ground every year to synchronize the pruning, the blooming and the fruiting, and it makes the heads bigger. But if you don't want to prune them every year, you can selectively prune, they call it. You can cut out the 2 or the 3 and 4 year old wood that's not looking good. The problem with it is you have a longer harvest season. You're going to have your berries over several weeks instead of a concentrated set. So there are advantages and disadvantages to all of them. Don't have to. You can do nothing. You can prune them all the way to the ground every year or all the way to the ground every other year. Both of those work.
Yeah.
And you were saying before, like with mine, if I wanted them to spread out, to cut them to the ground, and then they'll spread out more, and then just trim them a little bit if I just want them to go straight up.
Right. So if you cut them off on the ground, they're going to stool more, and you're going to make lots of new plants that wants to spread out. But if you leave a small little stump of 6 inches or 8 inches, then it's going to stay kind of growing out of that little stump. It's a little easier to control them in a garden situation when you're not making them spread out. Now, and commercially, we want them to spread out all over big rows, so we cut them down.
How do we get the juice from him? You could go to riverhillsharvest.com and you guys can get your juice or whatever like that.
Cutting
and a lot of people were asking about if they're poisonous, you know, that old story about all
that's
that.
Another one of those big fallacies about elderberry. And it's only been in the last 2 years that we've actually got the science out. They did a long research project. And now we know that the American elderberry, unlike the European elderberry, which most of the products in the store are the European elderberry, doesn't have any of the cyanide. It has 100 times less than what apples have in it. So you can eat those raw elderberries now. You don't have to cook them too much. Just eat them raw. For a long time, we haven't been able to say that. So now we can. You can eat raw elderberries. Whoa, what would you think about that?
That's great.
It's like food.
It is.
We were eating them before they said it.
Yeah.
I was eating them since I was a little bitty kid. So no, that's one of the big myths, and it'll take decades for that to get out of the literature because it's in everything.
But you guys heard it right here.
Right.
And all the literature was based on the European elder, and the American just got thrown in there and blamed for it.
Right. Okay, so there's almost 600 people watching right now, and there's about 0 thumbs up, and everybody wants to know what happened to my arm, and I can't tell you guys until we see some more thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right, so how far apart should you plant them in the rows?
In row, we'll plant them 2 to 4 foot apart. You know, I figure if a person puts out about 10 plants and puts them about 2 to 4 feet apart in your garden, make a nice row, that'll make enough berries for a family of 3 to have a tablespoon of juice every day, enough with some left over to make jelly, and then even some to make wine if you want to make wine.
There you go.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Love it. Oh, and then you were telling me, this is really interesting. You were saying how Missouri
now is the elderberry in Missouri is the #1 planted berry. We have more elderberries planted now than blackberries or blueberries
or strawberries.
Wow.
Elderberry.
It's the new stuff out of the new USDA census.
And that's 50%.
50% of the commercial elderberries produced in the United States are coming from Missouri now.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk about a few things really quick. This is my little microphone. No, actually, we got you guys on the
cowboy grill.
On the cowboy grill, and this is a little thing that you can spin out of the way there.
Yeah, that's good.
But what we're going to talk about real quick is a lot of you guys on the homestead. We've told you guys many different ways you can make money on your homestead, and so you can quit that old boring 9-to-5 job and actually live the job or live the life that you're passionate about and work and do something you're passionate about, and you can actually make money growing elderberries. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So some farmer guys are starting off in small type of production areas, and to make like maybe $30,000-$40,000 a year is not really out of the realm of possibility.
I know people on 2 acres that'll make
on 2 acres,
and that's just selling the raw berry.
Right.
And that's not even adding all that value that you can add to elderberries, because you can make so many different products out of elderberry.
Right.
We see them from growers all over the country that we work with. We try to encourage them to make something.
Right.
The market's open. There's a million things you can make, and there's some really simple things you can make, like jelly.
Yeah.
And elderberry jelly sells around. You don't find it in the stores very much. It's easy to make it in your kitchen. You can sell it at the farmer's market, or it's food that you can trade for other things you need.
Right.
You don't always have to sell stuff to get value out of them.
Right.
You know, elderberry is a great thing to use in the barter system because you can make elderberry syrup. You can make different kinds of products from that, other stuff that you want to do. You have all the flowers you can work with.
And you can keep it super simple too and just wholesale berries to you.
Or you can wholesale
right?
the berries.
Some guys don't want to do a lot of that shuck and jiving, and they just want to grow the berries and sell them to you.
Right?
We need lots and
a lot of growers.
So let's say a guy was to take some cuttings, I guess would be the fastest way to start, and let's say he got like 1,000 cuttings. I'm just using numbers.
Okay.
And so if he put those cuttings in the ground, how fast would he start seeing return on the
The
investment?
second year, you'd start to see.
The second year.
Usually, a lot of our growers will be by the third year they've paid off all their investment.
There you go.
You know, we have a little system. We teach people how to plant them, how to choose the right kinds for their situation. We set up little pods of growers around the country. It's the way we're working it, where you'll have your group of friends and they get together and they can work on the project together, help each other harvest and cultivate, and then they aggregate their berries so that we have a bigger supply, and then we can move them into the market, because there are lots of great people that want to make elderberry products.
Right.
It's not hard to sell them. And this year, the entire crop was sold. Just within a month of harvest, there were none left in the country to buy. And so
we need growers.
We need growers. We need
Homestead homey growers, right?
We hope to get, by 2025, we hope to have about 2,000 acres of elderberry planted. And that's just the beginning of what we need in this country. We think we need, for our domestic supply, about 30,000 acres.
So, okay.
And it's the perfect thing for small farmers, because you can't be too big. There's so much handwork.
Right.
You have to be someone there, and you've got to cut the fruit and get people to work together. So it's not conducive to the really large farmers.
Right.
I mean, we're beginning to get people that
Good
put
cottage industry
40 acres or 50 acres in. They're going to have a really good supply later.
Yeah.
And so right now, elderberry's got a huge advantage for small farmers. And say you're trying to make it as a market gardener, and you're selling at the farmer's market. Well, if you can find something that you can add value to that's stable, then you have that at your farmer's market stand every year. And with elderberries, you know, I grew vegetables. We sold vegetables for 20 years before we started the elderberry. So we sold lots of markets. And the thing is, you're limited by the number of markets you have when you sell at farmers market.
Right.
You can only sell so much. So most small farmers that sell at farmers markets, they need another stream of income coming in. So having a small wholesale crop of elderberries that you can put on a couple acres, you take care of them, you sell them all at once, and maybe you make some jelly, or, you know, some of our growers now they're doing lots of different things. We had the one I showed you, the gummy bear kit.
Yeah.
They're just getting them great value out of that. Some people are making their own teas. You can make elderflower and elderberry teas really easy. So there's huge numbers of things. I mean, if you ever get to hear me speak, I have a collection of 100 or more different elderberry products that you can make. But you can do this with anything.
Right.
All of our stuff.
All the stuff. Anything.
Right.
There's lots of different ways.
Used to be about.
Right.
Was getting it harvested and getting it stabilized somehow so you could get it to market.
Right.
And if you can sell it at market every day of the year online, there's no better market.
Yeah. And so one of the things we're also talking about, is making money. You guys can actually grow elderberries, make money for your homestead, work with your family, live on your own land, be more independent, more self-sustainable. It's just a win-win for everybody. You know, your health will be better because you have natural, good growing elderberries right there. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a win-win. So you guys can make money actually growing elderberries. And the reason why we're bringing it up here too with my injury is it's a great anti-inflammatory. And it is loaded with vitamin C.
Right, to help with healing.
Right.
And for your immune system.
And so we use that as part of our regimen. And now I have this injury here on my arm, which I'm not going to tell you about. So quit asking me. I'm going to tell you. But it's helping me fight inflammation with my hand and my arm right now. So basically what happened is, I don't know if you guys can see this. It's really gone down now because I'm absolutely not using it for anything. But I have, yeah, it's still swollen there. I have a overuse. What is it? What are you calling it?
It's like, I think your bursitis or overuse injury from our.
My elbow here is swollen, and it's traveled down to my hand swollen. And so I can't use my arm right now. If I continue to use my arm, I'm going to create a chronic problem, and that's what you don't want. So if you guys do get injured on the homestead, you know, make sure you take it easy. I know it's hard. You want to be the boss man. You want to be like, you know, I am man, hear me roar and all that stuff. But I just got to take it easy. You know, Stacy's out weed whack. I kind of like it actually. Stacy's weed whacking. She's doing all the chores, and I'm like, yeah, my arm's messed up. I got to just take it easy.
So basically,
you don't know how to relax, Doug.
Yeah.
It wears you out relaxing.
Yeah.
You're putting arnica on it.
Yeah,
and
arnica,
some peppermint and
all
frankincense
natural
oil.
stuff. You don't have to run off to the doctor for every single little thing. So,
and then I think what's really helped it is Dr. Christopher. I did that bone and tissue. He's doing some whole herbs in
and
there.
it's all herbs. Everything is all herbs. Arnica is all natural. So I got to keep the swelling down. And this, you know,
and icing, of course.
Yeah, I have to ice it. And, you know, it's a little bit of a challenge, but you have to know when to say when. So I backed off doing my projects, and I'll get back on them here in a little bit. And I'm just a one-arm kind of a 50% guy right now. So some of the videos coming up, you guys will just see. I'll just be kind of limping along. That's why I've been putting out videos since the raise in the roof.
And that's what caused this.
Well, it was like the day after that. I noticed I noticed it was getting a little swelling, and I kept going. I had some other stuff around here to do, and then it really got bad day before yesterday, and then yesterday I really took
injury
it easy.
A lot of carpenters do get. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, we have all these herbs. You know, like our Back to Eden garden area is all going to be medicinal herbs for us to use, and that's why we grow that stuff on the homestead. Even our landscaping, you know, we can take the leaves off and, you know, use the bark and stuff like that for remedies for us on the homestead. So, you know, this is our medicine chest. We're building it and growing it all around us, and we're preparing for the future that way. So when we have you know, a sniffle or a sneeze or a swelling or something, we don't have to rush off to some doctor somewhere and get jacked full of antibiotics.
So
I can eat a clove of garlic, drink some elderberry juice, and do my thing.
There you go.
There's our shot of elderberry juice right there. That's the only reason why Terry came up.
Doctor away.
He was feeling sorry for me, so he said, "I'm gonna bring you some juice, man."
We got to keep you going. You're doing such good stuff for everybody.
Oh man, love it.
You know, one more thing I wanted to remind everybody: if you don't get our newsletter and stuff, is we have our big, comprehensive elderberry workshop.
That's what I was
getting into. We train farmers. And if you're interested in growing elderberries, it is the great place to come. It's 3 days long.
Yep.
We're talking just about elderberry the whole time. And there'll be over 100 professional farmers there that grow elderberries, that are making money, that make lots of products. And people will be bringing stuff in that they're making from all over the country.
How do they go to that? Is that on River Hills Harvest?
Go to riverhillsharvest.com. It should be on there. Go to the growers section, sign up for our newsletter. There's great information on there if you want to try to grow elderberries and make some money on your farm.
And then when you're done, you'll be purple too, right?
Yeah, we are the purple people.
That's right. And Terry even has a purple picnic table.
Yeah. You're right. I already told that to Stacy. I said, now we know how Popeye got those elbows on him. He had the big elbows. Look at that thing. And that's nothing. It really went down. It was like pretty big right here.
Oh, it was huge. Yeah.
So
just put it back in the sling where it belongs.
Yeah.
Well, I got to show them, you know, I got some skeptics out there.
No, you're faking.
They might think it's the old sympathy thing. You know, there's actually people out there that do that stuff, but not here. I got too much stuff to do to be playing sick.
Oh, my goodness. Garden to eat now.
Yeah.
The garden's popping.
Gardens are looking good. This is like one of the nicest springs.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great year. The fruit trees all seem to have some good fruit on them, but not too much, which is always good.
Yep. They're not going to hang down too much. That's right. Any other questions about elderberries, guys? You have any more on there?
And that's the other thing, guys, when you eat right, you know, and your body's healthy to begin with, you'll mend a lot faster, right? So because we eat good and we're taking care of ourselves, you know, and we're not on all these medications, and, you know, our bodies are real hip and in tune, you know, this will heal it half the time or way faster than the normal person, or us, maybe like when I was living in the city and, you know, trashing my body full of fructose this and corn syrup that, and, you know, GMOs these, and, you know, so you got to keep yourself healthy. So if you do get sick, not only, you know, will you be able to mend yourself, but you'll be able to mend faster. All right. Will they grow in shade? I'm in Missouri. I have trees all in my yard.
Elderberry will grow in shade, but the problem is it doesn't make much fruit in shade. It will make some flowers, and you can take the flowers off. It just takes a lot.
River Hill Harvest. It's River Hills. Hills.
Hills.
Hills.
River Hills.
Debbie, maybe you could drop a link for them down in the comment section. River Hills Harvest.
Oh, look, Rambo's over there watching us.
He's watching us.
Yeah, he is. Hi, Rambo.
Watching him watch us.
Hi, Rambo. He looks like he's got dreadlocks now. All this hair's coming off, and it's just hanging off of him.
I see you, Jim. I don't have a problem loading up those sheets. I got your new phone number, too. No, it wasn't that. I mean, my arm felt fine when you guys all blew out of here on Sunday, and then I kept going Monday, and I noticed it was a little swollen Monday. I might have tweaked it on Monday when I was doing
Well,
my other
he
stuff.
dug. You planted 6.
I planted a bunch of bushes.
Dogwood
I
trees
just got
and
so much to do.
where our
And
shower
so
is.
I think I twisted or did something then, and then I kind of kept going, and then the next day it was really swollen, so I really backed off, and then Stacy came home, and then so I'm on.
It's just overuse injury.
Yeah,
I know that's what it is.
I'm on some
He was hammering
relaxing
and
time right
hammering.
now. This might last for like 2 months, so Stacy's gonna have to really pick up the slack around here. All right.
Use the screw gun. You won't have to use the hand.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to solar charge him before you know it.
Yeah, carpenter's arm. That's another thing that they actually do call it. You know, you're smashing the hammer, which I was doing, by the way.
Totally. I know
So,
that's what it is.
River Hills. Thanks, Deb.
I got it on there.
Yeah.
And now you have to do the stretches I always tell you to do.
Yeah, we're gonna help you guys out with that too. So Stacy's, we've been talking about doing this stuff, and we never really thought, I don't know, whatever. But we're gonna show you guys some good stretches that you need to do on the homestead, because you know you guys are out there using these muscles and they're getting tight and they're drawing you in, and you gotta get them stretched back out. That's also part of health. You know, it's not just about eating organic and you know growing food. It's also about stretching out and you know, peaceful moments.
And the thing is, you know, your body gets tight, and that's generally what causes injury because, your body needs to kind of stretch. And people just think I'm getting older, I'm getting tighter and all that, but it's not that. You know, you need to kind of loosen up those muscles. And actually, it's the fascia that kind of covers the muscles. You know, you have your bones, you have your muscles, and then you have the fascia that covers it. It's like your connective tissue. And if it gets all gunked up, the older you get, it gets kind of like glue. So just by doing different types of even like massage with a tennis ball or just doing some simple stretches that don't take but a minute or two, it can really save your life, from carpal tunnel to, you know, if you're having neck problems, just simple, easy things. And I always tell him to do it. And that was one thing that he needs to work on a little bit. And I think, you know, if you're going to get an injury, it may not be as bad, or you might not get it, just if you kind of keep your body a little bit more.
Yeah, plus you guys are gardening and, you know, everything's just, and you're in these bad positions with your phones and your laptops, and your shoulders are being hunched over. You know, you want to pull that stuff out.
Then you go and reach back, and then there goes your rotator cuff because the muscles are already used
pulling
to being
forward.
Here. So it's just certain things, and they're simple and easy.
And it messes up your back, and then you have a disc out, and then you walk funny, and then the doctor says he wants to slice you open and shove a rod in there. You know, I mean, it's just like, come on.
Keep those balanced muscles. That's the big thing.
Yeah. Turmeric is great for inflammation.
Yep.
For sure.
Make it some golden milk.
And I guess pollinators like the elderberry that has flowers.
Pollinators love
it's an open pollinator.
You know, with Lincoln University's been doing a study, and they've counted 67 different native pollinators that are coming into the elderberry. You know, Doug, the elderberry makes external nectar on the outside of its bark. Have you ever seen it? Where it makes its flower stems will come down and attach to it. There's a couple little buttons on there that exude clear nectar, and lots of little wasps go there to get the nectar. You know, they don't have anything to do with pollinating it or anything else, but they come in there and they suck that free food up. And now we know that it does the same thing with its roots into the microorganisms in the soil. You know, elderberry will give up 20% of its carbohydrates to feed the soil microbes. And it brings them in there, and then they all get hooked up. The mycorrhizals will go right into the root and connect to it. Then it goes up and it hooks onto some other stuff on the other end. And everything in the soil is all connected to one giant web. It's amazing. It's just the beauty of nature.
That's the other thing. You know, I don't want to be showing you guys my thing. I'm no sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you guys are loving on us and stuff, but that's just not how we roll. So I really wasn't going to make a big deal out of it. And then Terry came by, so we thought we'd do a live show so we could answer these questions and stuff. Otherwise, I probably would have made you guys go without videos for a while until I was ready to go back up on the thing. Just how I am, man. I just don't want you guys like, oh, look, poor dog. You know, it's just no big deal. All right.
Everything happens.
Yeah. But I know you guys are just loving on us, you know, but I'm just trying to say, you know, it's, you know, I'll be fine. Everything's good. Shabbat Shalom. Yep, we're getting ready for Sabbath, no doubt. Bigfoot, we have a 70-acre family farm we're getting going. I see Ethan's here from 180 Degrees Average. I got his whole closet here, coats, gloves, shirts.
Yeah, I got
and they even brought their house with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're about to come start digging out the shelter. We're about to come start digging out the shelter. All right, so I don't know. You guys got any more questions? Because otherwise we're going to wrap this one up. Don't forget to check out riverhillsharvest.com. You can sign up for his classes if you're thinking about making money growing elderberry. Don't forget, elderberry is a great anti-inflammatory. It's great vitamin C.
Do you want to know something? You guys want to know a secret?
Oh,
You
I
don't
love
even know
secrets.
this either. Before Doug and I ever did this, I was like researching and doing stuff. And then I thought, elderberries grow really good in Missouri. And I thought, this is before we had even moved off Grivet. And I thought, I think one thing I could really do is raise elderberries and then,
You can make everything.
do it. Yeah.
Out.
And then it's like, look at it now. I mean, how easy you could do it. And I mean, it was just like a little dream that I kind of thought about, but you know how easy it could be to do it.
Oh yeah,
So,
you could have an acre of them over here.
Yeah.
Easy. You
Yeah.
got plenty of ground.
And they overwinter, no problem. They bury out, and then they basically in the wintertime go dormant.
Right.
And so anywhere you're at, we already told you guys. I mean, they're totally like nuclear. You could grow them almost basically anywhere. They might need a little care, but other than that, they're kind of like blackberries. They'll just go and take off.
Because with mine, he just looked at mine. So mine were the second year. I didn't trim mine back. So that was something. That's my problem. I should have done it.
Fine though.
Yeah. So the next year I definitely will, and then I'll get more from them. Right.
So they make more shoots, and then you get a big head on the end of each shoot.
Right.
How long can you keep the cuttings in a jar of water? I haven't prepared for planting spot yet, so I need to keep them in the jar for a while.
You can keep them in there for a while. Change the water on them though. You don't want that water to go bad on you. You could just put them in a pot and let them start growing in a pot too.
And then just transplant them. Yeah.
And then put them out in the garden once they start getting some roots and growing good.
Can you eat the flower?
Oh, yes, you can eat the flowers. We've started to do more and more with the flowers. We've learned through some of the research that the best quality flowers to use to make stuff are frozen. Fresh frozen flowers are much stronger than thermally heated, dehydrated flowers, which is most of what you can get is that way. But it's pretty easy to freeze your own flowers. We try to get them all off the stem. We've learned that you pick early in the morning on the flowers because they begin to lose the phenols as the sun hits them.
It's just like any herb.
So
they're better in the morning.
2 hours. Yeah. So we try to take them within 2 hours and then get them destemmed and off those in the freezer with another hour or so. And they're powerful. The frozen fresh are stronger than the dehydrated,
right?
In quantities. So.
And it makes a great tea.
It's a great tea. And our new elderflower cordial. I don't know if we saw that.
Yeah.
It's delicious. It's great in sparkling water, or we make some salad dressings with it. I've made a cake, an elderflower cake that was really good.
Yeah, because don't just think you drink this stuff. I mean, there's so much you can do with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and you're cooking, baking, for sure.
Can you companion plant elderberries with other berries?
You can, but they're a little bit aggressive if you're companion planting. Blackberries, if you're doing total pruning every year and they're mixed in there, you'll never get blackberries because you're cutting everything down every year. But they stay vigorous and grow well.
Right.
We are actually trying to figure out what the very best companion plants are, because we know that there are guilds of plants that like to work out and be together, and they're the ones that are going to be exchanging a lot of stuff through the mycorrhizals in the soil. They stay connected and hooked up. Not every plant community is the same. Not all plants want to share the same microbes as some other plants.
Now, like mint is okay with blackberries, and there's a ground cover. I wonder, would it be the same with that possibly, or no? Would it mess up the flavor?
I don't know. We'd have to try.
Is there a better soil type?
Well, a sandy loam is always a great one for elderberries. They want a well-drained soil. And if your soil is not well-drained or has a lot of clay in there that causes it to not drain well, you can make up a nice little raised bed. You can do it without sides or put some sides on it. And a raised bed gives you that extra drainage that a lot of things like.
Yeah, and that's how
a lot of things don't want to set down in the water.
Yeah. Would you want to set in the water?
No, your feet would get all stinky.
Yeah. When's the best time to plant them? You like planting them in the spring best?
We like to plant them early in the spring with the dormant hardwood cuttings, and we stick them right in. You know, growing vegetables, I had all the same equipment that we used to grow wholesale vegetables.
Right.
So we set them on beds that we put plastic down on for that first year for weed control when you're doing a lot, or you can use heavy mulch, either one, and plant them in the spring, and they'll take right off. The earlier the better, because the soil moisture is even in the spring. It doesn't dry out, wet and dry out like it does later in the summer. So that continuous moist soil in the spring, put them in, and they grow well.
There's only 678, almost 700 people watching, only 390 thumbs up. I don't know what I'm going to do with you guys, I tell you. Let's go. Hit that thumbs up. Getting all this good elderberry information. Inflammation.
It does away with it. It's very strong. It's probably why Hippocrates used it so much for, you know, everything. He wrote an entire book on elderberry, and he's the one that said he could heal any part of your body with a part of the elder. And he used all the parts. He even used the fungus that would grow.
Is elderberry good in small amount for dog health mixed in with food or water?
Yes. There's a lot of research at the university, and they feed it to several different animals, and they have worked it with dogs. Ruminants we're not as sure about because of the fermentation stuff that happens. We don't know if they get the good antioxidants, but chickens and pigs both do really well. Dogs, there's some new high antioxidant blends that are going into dog food that contain some elder and aronia and stuff. So we know that it's really good for your chickens, though. It only takes 2 of those dried berries a day to keep your chickens from getting avian flu, staphylococcus, coccidiosis.
That's why we planted them all by the chicken coop.
Yeah, they'll be up there.
Actually, there's a brand new company that I heard about that's beginning to make a new pigeon formula to feed pigeons, a special little elderberry juice that they're specifically doing it for pigeons. Because in Europe they make racing pigeon formula and stuff.
Racing pigeons.
Well, when I grew up, and our neighbor behind us, he used to do the homing pigeons, and I used to love it. He would go and take them somewhere and come home, and then all of a sudden they'd come home. It was the coolest thing.
Okay, this is how you do it. See that X right there? So you hit the X right there, and then that takes you out of the live chat. And then you see that thumbs up? Then you hit that thumbs up right there, just like that. And then you hit this button right here, and then it brings you back to the live chat. See that? Nah, fix that for you.
I wondered how you did that.
Well, they were asking. She says, I can't do it when I'm watching the live show.
Just got to know how to do
it.
Now you know.
These off-grid people got to teach the on-grid people how to use this technology.
It took you a while to get this show going.
It was crazy. There was like some new update with YouTube, you guys. That's
why
it took me forever to get it figured out, and then I finally got it figured out. And I'm glad too. We've been missing you guys, so it's good to hang out and chat. So again, if you're just tuning in, I got an overuse injury on my arm. My elbow is really swollen up, and it's coming along nicely. Got some elderberry juice and some other stuff that I'm doing. Like you can see it good right there. Some other stuff that I'm doing to keep the inflammation down. Definitely not using the arm right now, so there's going to be a little delay on some videos and what's going on around here. So you guys, if you want to show us the love, you got to watch our older videos because our video views are tanking because we don't have any new videos coming out. And so you just got to go watch some of those older videos and leave some comments and help keep the channel from being canceled.
Give them something to do because I'm doing all the stuff around here.
Yeah, and I need to comment and answer your comments and stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. The learning center is moving right along. We got the roof on in case you didn't see the last video. More stuff will be happening on that here in the next couple of days. And then we have other stuff up in the front I haven't even talked to you guys about yet. So there's so much stuff going on. So stay tuned, hang out. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be bringing you guys some rocking content all spring, summer this year. Don't forget the Homesteading Live Conference, which Terry's a sponsor of, River Hills Harvest. Also, we'll be there talking to you guys about elderberries and have a little workshop at his booth, teaching you guys that stuff hands-on. And he'll be there, and a lot of people will be there August in Hannibal, Missouri. You go to homesteadinglifeconference.com. It's limited seating, so you have to get your tickets. and hope to see you guys there.
And take a ride on the boat.
Yeah, we're going to go on the
Yeah.
river
I
boat.
can't wait.
We have a live band, you know, we have dinner on the boat after the event, and it goes up and down the Mississippi in a paddle boat. And hopefully the Mississippi will be back down in the
Oh, really? Yeah. By then it should
By
be fine.
August.
A lot of
Yeah.
flooding
Goes
going
down
on.
in
Yeah, a
August.
lot of flooding. How much water do elderberries need?
We try to give them a 1/2 to 1 inch a week with irrigation. They like the water, and they will do well without a lot of water for a while, but they won't make a lot of good fruit. 'Cause
Yeah.
the fruit is 80% water.
Yeah, it's like any
And
fruiting
has
berry,
to,
right?
It has
Yeah.
to have that. And
Gotta
they get
have water,
ripe
gotta
in
have
August,
sun.
and they get ripe in August.
Right.
So you don't give them the water, you can get a lot of hard little things that don't have much juice.
Right. And then
Juice is what
you want to
we
be
want.
out there in August harvesting your elderberries and get crappy elderberries because you didn't want to water them. I mean, stay on top of water and your stuff, and you get the best berries. So when you're sweating out in August and you're going, oh my gosh, did we really sign up to grow all these elderberries? They come out
Heavy
tasty
mulch.
and great. And then you have one and you're like, I'm so glad we did this.
Oh, someone had asked me about elderberries. Does it about making a dye? Do people ever use it for that?
Yeah, I have some great clothing that's been made with me and dyed with elderberries, and you have to use something to stabilize it. I'm not a dyer, I don't know, but if you just get it on your clothes regularly, it washes right off. So you have to put some kind of emollient or whatever it is in there to get it. But I've got some beautiful elderberry
Made
dyed
out.
clothing.
Thanks, Tony Lynn Cassidy. That was very nice of you. I know you keep asking me what type grow good in Idaho. Any type. Get on his website and get some elderberries, and he'll send them to you, and you grow them right there in Idaho.
Well, we don't have any more. The cuttings are not online to buy right now.
Right.
We just are taking them off. I think they've taken them off. They might be on still right this moment. By tomorrow, or though, they'll be taken off.
But if
My
you
daughter
know-
was too busy today to get it done.
Oh.
But they're wildly growing in Idaho right now. All you have to do is find some on the side of the road.
Well, in Idaho, you have to be a little bit careful to make sure the type you get, because you have two other kinds of elderberry that grow out there. The red elderberry, which people know a bit about, which is not good to eat. I mean, there's some other things you can do with it, but I wouldn't make juice out of it and eat a bunch of the red. It has a lot of a precursor of cyanide in it. And then there's also the light blue elderberry that grows out there, which is edible. I don't think it has quite as many antioxidants, but there's starting to be more work done with that because we don't know much about it. So it's going to be kind of like the canadensis we've been working with, called Cerealius. And California actually just got a big grant at the university to start doing work with that light blue elderberry out there.
Man, make money, live healthier, be passionate and live your passion. That's what I love about
Improve
this
your
stuff.
community.
Yeah.
Improve your community,
Definitely, that's what it's all
better
about.
relationships with your spouse
some
and your
elderberries.
family. I mean, everything about this lifestyle is a win.
Live the life you love.
That's it.
That's
Everything else
right.
just
And if
comes
you
to
love living in a condo and shopping at Whole Foods, fist bump, man. Boom. More power to you. There's nothing wrong with that. So everybody you got to
You
find
can
what
just
you
grow
love
your
to do.
elderberries in a pot.
You love just
Right.
go support an elderberry grower, dude.
Yeah.
You know, that's all. Everybody can't do everything. So, do what you can, and then what you can't, build up your network, get your systems in place, lean
Farmers
on those
market,
people.
There's
CSA.
always something everybody can do, though.
Definitely.
For sure.
You got to pick the thing that makes you happy and
Yeah.
makes you want to get up every morning and go to it and love the life you live and get out there and do it.
We actually
It's
know
my
the person
40th
who
year of
trademarked
homesteading.
that. We actually know the person who trademarked that saying.
I know, but I've been saying
Yeah.
it
Live
for
the
a
life
No,
while.
I'm
you
just
love.
saying.
They can
Yeah.
they can trademark it, but they can't own it from my lips.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that was pretty cool.
We love it.
The bugs are crazy. Can you guys see
They
them? I
are.
can see them flying around.
Well, it's that
It
time of
got
day.
hot. I mean, all of a sudden, no, but it just got crazy. It was really cool. And then all of a sudden it got, woo, we're in like August weather. Sweating. I took a shower in the outside shower. It was very
Ooh,
nice
that's such
today.
a
It was-
luxury.
it
That
was
is like
wonderful.
the ultimate in luxury to have an outside shower.
Yep. And now we have like our door made out of the dogwoods. And there's Mr. Turkey. He says hi too. Mrs. Turkey's over there.
How far away would you want to plant them to stay away from commercial farms and their chemicals?
Well, if you're certified organic, you've got to have that barrier around your farm of 30 feet, I think it is. Some groups have gone to 50 feet actually. but it depends on who you're certified from. You want to stay a ways away if they're spraying. I've seen 3 reports this year. People have sent me samples and what's wrong with this elderberry, and it's been hit with herbicide. The herbicides travel a long way, some of the new ones, and the elderberry's easily affected by it. They're very sensitive to the herbicides, so you want to be a little ways away.
And then you were even saying how sometimes it'll settle.
Yeah, that's the problem of the new dicamba, which is the new, herbicide that people are using, which really is Agent Orange with the T on the end. Is really all it is. They didn't want to keep that name, but it's nasty stuff, and it will revolatize after it's been sprayed. So then, in the morning the sun can hit it, or in the late afternoon, and it can heat up and come back up and then move, and it can
The
move
wind
for quite a
blows and then
ways.
it can go somewhere else.
One of my growers in our community was about a half mile away, and it hit about an acre of his pretty hard down. It was the low stuff in the bottom.
Debbie Pettigrew, thanks for being the only moderator. I can't believe you're the only person who showed up that's moderating in this comment section today. So good job to Deb. She's hanging in there, trying hard. She's put the link up for you guys for River Hills Harvest, so you can hit that and go check out their website. And but thanks, Deb, for hanging in there. All right, so there you guys go, man. We talked about inflammation. We talked about what happened to my elbow. We talked about Terry and his elderberries. We talked about how you can make money with elderberries. We talked about this, that, and the other, and peanut butter. Let's see what we got going on here. Stacy's got to work on this bed right here and get some dirt in there. She's got her pots all ready to go right there for her little hang-a-pot thing there. And she got these colored pots, so we don't have to paint them anymore. She's really excited about that.
Yeah, I got a good deal.
Yeah, we always try to get the good deals. So that's it for us. We're going to chill out. I'm going to have a nice, relaxing weekend, and we're going to try to see you guys maybe on Monday or something, maybe Sunday. I don't know what's going on with the videos. So just watch old videos if you can and wait for us to come back, and we'll be back and get everything caught up and show you guys what's going on. So River Hills Harvest. And if you guys want to go to his workshop and learn about making money with elderberries.
14th and 15th.
June
13th, 14th, and 15th.
Got to go to his website and check it out and register. Other than that, we'll see you guys on the next video. As always, thanks for stopping by the homestead, sharing your time with us.
Well, thank you for all you do. You do such great stuff for all of us.
Yeah, Terry's good people. So one of the few people that actually know where we live.
Yeah. Yeah, he does a great job.
All right, so you guys have a good
pleasure
weekend.
being here. Goodbye, everybody. It's good to hear and see from you.
Shabbat shalom. We'll see you on the next one.